So we're going to talk about Meghan Walsh, okay? Now, Meghan Walsh is the daughter of John and Revy Walsh. John Walsh is the founder and host of America's Most Wanted. If you guys remember that show, between 1988 to, I think, several years, about 25 seasons or so, America's Most Wanted was the show to watch on Saturdays evening, usually, because it had the dramatics of like true crime, reenactment, real crime stories, and just John Walsh was just made, to host that show. Not only that, I mean, his son was murdered in 1981 by Otis Toole, who was at the time a serial killer, I believe, right? He was abducted at a Sears. He was 6 years old, abducted at a Sears, and unfortunately was murdered at the hands of Otis Toole. Okay, so to give you guys a little bit more context as to why this also piqued my interest is because it hasn't hit the media. It hasn't hit the major news streams or anything like that as far as what's going on with Meghan Walsh. Meghan Walsh lost custody of her 3 kids, and she just had a baby on June 3rd, I believe. No. She had a baby in May, and her baby was removed on June 3rd. And all of this was filmed. We have the body cam, and then we also have somebody that was in a house filming her interaction with the police through a court order. So her 3 kids are in the custody of the state. Physical custody is currently with Revy and John Walsh, okay, of the 3 kids, and then she just had this baby. The kids have 3 different fathers that we know of, okay? That's what I found out so far. Her births have been at home, okay? This birth in particular, it looks like might have been at home, the most recent one, okay? So she did an interview where she talked about the father of the baby. So one of the fathers that Meghan Walsh is claiming to have fathered her child is someone by the name of Maggie Jackson. And I was really stumbled by this one because I saw the picture and you guys can see it. I initially thought it was like one of the a Jackson family member, maybe long, distant relative, something. Well, that's not the case. MAGA stands for Make America Great Again, right? So he is definitely a pro-Trumper, okay? Whatever. And Jackson is just the name that he put on himself. So he, in his channel in itself, it does a lot of propaganda for Donald Trump. That's his thing, whatever. Do what you gotta do, right? So this is someone that she's claiming fathered her child, one of her children. I'm just kind of curious to know why someone like John Walsh hasn't spoken to the media about what's been going on. There's speculation that she is a drug user. You could see she has, I believe she this is self-disclaimed by her, cancer of the nose. I think it's called like nasal sarcoma or something like that. Don't quote me on that. It is a real thing though. So her nose, she's got a little bit of like scabbing and disfigurement in the nose area from the scabbing. And she is curing it with Rick's oil, which I believe is like a cannabis type of oil that she's using to help alleviate all that. So the current stance that Meghan Walsh is taking right now is she's going on a tour and she's talking about how CPS is the system for human trafficking. It's the hub for it. How she is questioning the death of her brother Adam Walsh, how it happened. Basically, she read some transcripts, and according to her, a lot of the conflict started from there. I will say this though, when I was looking into the various interviews that she was doing, just trying to figure out and match some of the behavior stuff, her story is pretty consistent. The only problem that I have though is, and not even problem, but one thing I want to point out is that she did say that she went from therapist to therapist as she was younger, right? Trying to address issues within the family. There are some issues within the family that never really got addressed and that have been covered up. So I think it's an important point to make. as far as her story. She's going about disclosing stuff from that was typed in what is it, like the Globe or something, about her father having affairs and drug use and all this other stuff and possible potential alleged abuse. This is what she is saying. We don't know. We haven't seen anything, right? So she's over here uncovering these quote unquote alleged skeletons out of the closet. That is a stance that she's taking, and I believe that has separated her from the family. She claims to have had a career, which I did find some articles where she was a designer, she was in the industry, she was doing different things, and basically all of that has been taken away from her by her own statement because of the things that she's come out to say and how she won't stand for X, Y, and Z, how she won't stand for John Walsh anymore. So that is her side of the story. I mean, it's an interesting side. She's done a couple of interviews here and there. What do you guys think about all of that? I don't know what to think. We'll see what happens. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments. It just really piqued my interest in something that I wanted to look at. So we're going to look at the body cam first. Then we're going to look at the camera footage from the inside of the home. And we'll make sure we credit those channels as well. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, okay? Thanks. All right, let's get started. So this is the body cam. Meghan Walsh's child was handed over to the custody of CPS. CPS stands for Child Protective Services. They also call it DFS, which is Department of Family Services. That's so you guys know the two different meanings of it. We're going to start right here. Now, there's body cam of this officer, which we're gonna do this. We're gonna stop because there's areas where he completely mutes us and we can't hear any of the interaction, which is a little bit, in my opinion, suspect. You'll see why. And a little very concerning. Number one, you will see negotiations happening between these guys. I'm going to go through here and edit this recording simply because I want us to get to the point. And this itself is about 45, almost, I think it's about an hour long total. But there's so many muted parts that we're able to speak through. So we're going to do that. Now, let me start by giving credit to the channel that uploaded this body cam. The name of the channel is American Amy. You guys go ahead and check them out. They have a variety of content. So just check them out and stuff. We're pulling from this channel to show you guys the body cam of what it looked like. We're doing this under fair use, providing commentary and giving credit to that channel. So we're not open to a strike or anything like that. Shout out to them. Make sure you check them out. I'll have them in the description box. Let's get started with this video. We have the video at 1.25 speed because it's a pretty slow video. It starts with everybody being muted.
Get Sam in the back when he's done playing fireman. I didn't even do it on purpose.
Long lady t-shirt came earlier. Okay.
Hello. You mind opening the door?
I do mind.
Okay, we're going to open it either way, so I'd like to explain to you that that's going to happen. This is all being recorded. Yeah, we do. We have an order to take custody of the child. I can show you email of it real quick. I don't have to show you, but I'm going to show you so we can have a peaceful relationship. This is a court.
Real quick, we have 3 private property signs that are posted in this property. There's 2, one next to the window, right? One right there by the, well, 2 of them on the window. In the entry area, there was another one that was posted. The officer speaking is clearly the one with the body cam. There is an order by a judge signed to take custody of a 5-day-old baby that's in the house. Okay, so just so you know.
Court order that's signed by Judge Meadows that orders us to take custody of the child. I can't hear it through the window.
That's all right, I can read it. Can you move it over a little bit?
I'll shrink it down if you can see. That's the whole thing. There's a paper copy coming from DCF as well, but this was emailed to me right away.
And currently, they are filing an injunction.
Okay.
And they're waiting for your sergeant to call.
I'm the sergeant.
Oh, you're the
And the
sergeant?
lieutenant, the two highest ranking people working are both right here.
So she called 911.
She's inside the house. I told her I would speak to her in person.
Okay. And, okay, let me finish this.
Judge Meadows signed the order.
Uh-huh. Whoops, it just faded, so can you put the light back on?
Oh,
It's okay. And the child has gotten proper care yesterday.
I'm sorry.
The child did have proper care.
Okay, okay.
That's why it's a fraudulent.
Okay, so here's all I'm going to explain to you, and this is all being recorded and very peacefully. We know the child is inside, and the judge has commanded us to retrieve the child.
Right, but
So
they said last night on the CPS people.
Okay.
They said it was
I
medical care.
don't have any information or input into what goes into an order or who testifies in front of a judge if that's not true or true. All I can tell you is they went to the court this morning. Judge Bob Meadows signed this order, and it commands us by any reasonable force necessary to enter this premises and retrieve the child. So I'm being very peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want nobody to get hurt, nobody to get arrested, no property to get damaged. But I assure you, we are coming inside and we're going to check the welfare of the child. So however that needs to happen as peaceful as possible. I am an advocate for peace and harmony in the community, but I assure you, we have to come in. So I don't know what else to tell you. I've told you, I've showed it to you, and we have to come in. So however you want to make that happen peacefully, I'm all about it. If we have
Even if they're filing an injunction,
the injunction is not in place at this time. A circuit judge elected by the Ford County area has commanded me and my deputies to enter this premise and secure the child. There's nothing else I can do. Injunction means nothing to me. It's not in place. She has to show up at the courthouse and present anything. So again, this is about we're winding down on all the warnings I can give you that we're coming in.
she will have her opportunity in civil court to fight
Absolutely.
this. But
I am not I'm not passing judgment on who's right or who's wrong.
No.
All I'm
she'll
telling
have
you
her
is
opportunity
you have to come in.
I'm Lieutenant Savita. I'm Lieutenant Savita with the Sheriff's Office. So everything they told you is exactly true. We have to.
So you have the tactic of the two officers kind of coming in very aggressive. We're winding down on the warnings that we can give. And I'm assuming that there's probably prior conversations that happened before they took that tactic of just being like, we're going to come in and whatnot. So just to give you guys a little bit more background information. When I was researching a little bit about Meghan Walsh, it sounds like her children, she has 3 other children in the custody of the state, okay? One of the newborn here looks like it might have been delivered at home. It was an at-home delivery or at-home birth. And so typically, if you deliver at a hospital, you and your child are taken care of. There's follow-up procedures. There's testing that's done. If out of concern for a child to be drug exposed, they might even check the meconium, things like that, which wouldn't necessarily be the case if the child was born at home, right? And so the concern here is if they have an open case for 3 kids that are not in her custody and she just gave birth to another child, who's to say that that new child is not or isn't or is getting her their needs met if there's not a safety issue with that child, right? So kind of keeping that in mind as to maybe why they would have taken this drastic measure. And also I'm not really a lot of us were just watching this. We don't know what conversations happened before. Now it sounds like this removal happened with the police happened on June 3rd of 2022. So really just about maybe a month ago, a little over a month ago that this happened, that this baby was removed. The baby was about 5 days old. The baby was 5 days old. So the baby would have been born in May, right around the ends of May.
Take the child in custody. There's no ways around it. So it would be What I'd really like to see is just cooperate with us. We'll come in, we'll talk to her, we'll get the baby, and then we're out of here. And it's as simple as that. We're not here to harm anybody. We have to follow the judge's order. So we're not trying to cause you any problems. We wouldn't do that. We're hoping that you open the door so we can go and talk to her, and we can do what the judge has ordered.
I can get my RAM.
Oh, you know she's here, and we don't want to go down that route.
If we have to,
We don't want to have to force our way in here. We haven't ordered. I'm sorry, sir?
why do you have to force your way in here?
Because we have an order from a judge to take the child into custody.
Why?
It doesn't matter why. I've told you
Doesn't
that.
matter why.
I've read it to you. She just read it.
We weren't in court. We weren't in court for the presentation of why. We
You're
haven't.
just the ones who's going to come and take the kid.
Correct.
We're the ones that are just given. We're told to come. We have the
We
order.
don't even, but what I'm saying, guys, is that you're not questioning why you're coming in to take this child. Why?
Because somebody presented evidence to a judge that allowed him to sign a paper.
I know, but you guys should use discernment with that to figure out why.
But yeah, but we get upset.
I'm not upset. You're hindering you're hindering an investigation.
I love how the lieutenant tells him to like, dude, like back off and everything. So just to let you guys know, the guy with the body cam, okay, the officer with the body cam has some history with Meghan Walsh, with John Walsh, this is a very small community from what it seems like, right? So the lieutenant's kind of like, look, if you guys saw that, just back away. Okay, go back, go do something, go count something, go look to see how many dogs are on the property. I don't know. And that was, I think, very important because to me, it sounds like when you give such a smart mouth remark and, you know, to anybody, you're in their property. I get that you're the law, but I mean, this is how things kind of escalate, right? Out of curiosity now, I don't know. Everybody might have a different thought, but you know, don't do that. Don't do that. It avoids situations. Not only that, you're removing a baby that's 5 days old. Can you imagine the trauma and the escalation that that's going to do to the mother and to those around her, and even to this baby? That this is a perfect time for bonding to happen. Yeah, not okay.
Well, we haven't. Well, number one, we weren't in court this morning with it. We were just called to come out and do this. So we have a judge, it's like a warrant. So no, listen. It's a similar as like a warrant. If we have a felony warrant for someone, we're going to arrest them. We're not going to look into why the judge signed the warrant. I'm talking to an adult. I'm just using as a.
That's all I'm saying. Is that it's not like there's a drug dealer here and you got to arrest.
Correct.
It's a baby.
Right. That's right.
So you don't question it. That's what confuses me. I'm just using common sense. All I'm doing. I'm saying, don't that confuse you guys? That you would think that why would you want to a private woman's home and ask to come take a child? That's right. That's trafficking a child.
Because we have a judge's order that orders us.
You're legally going to traffic a child.
No, we're not legally trafficking the child. The judge's order gives us the right.
I know the judge's order. What I'm saying, guys, is that
The child.
in the first place.
We have an order from the judge. The child goes to DC.
1180-4.
So the child's going to go straight to DCF.
That is correct. They'll be here. They'll be
Just taking a child.
When you're clear, can you have this location?
because the judge found reason for us for DCF.
And you don't question that reason.
I would, sir. I don't know.
You guys are supposed to protect and serve.
We are, and that's what we. Yes, we are, and that's what we do. We protect and serve.
I've never been in a situation like this. I'm confused by it. You're supposed to protect and serve, and you're coming to get a child.
Because
Whatever reason it is, the judge says so.
we have a judge's order that says for us.
It was based on, you know, the baby is adopted yesterday. DCF got out of the house last night and told me that the child had not had medical care, and that was not true.
Okay.
And we can produce the doctor's info, but she went to the doctor. So the judge saw evidence.
Okay. Then you're going to have to take that. She's going to have to get a lawyer, and you're going to have to take that evidence that you have and present that at a later date. But today we have an order to retrieve this child, to return the child over to DCF, and we want to do it very peacefully. We don't want any problems. We protect and serve the community. So it just takes, all it is cooperation. I assure you,
What happens if, let's say this, like you guys decide to go, okay, you know what, this doesn't, sometimes we got a warrant, we're supposed to get this baby, but it doesn't really make sense.
it's not.
There is a negotiation phase that happens here, right? We could see this officer really trying to do his best to negotiate and make sure that they understand why behind what they're doing. You know, it makes sense to try to de-escalate the situation.
It's not a warrant. It's an order to take the child into custody.
I know it's an order to take the child, but you guys are coming here to protect the children. You're ordered to take a newborn baby from its mother. So I understand where the common sense behind it.
Because there was evidence presented to the judge that led the judge to sign an order for us to come. We don't have to do it. We could let her turn the baby over to DCF.
So if you don't have to do it, then you guys go on your way. And then
Yeah, but you got to let DCF come in and take the child.
that's fine, but you guys can just go. That's what I'm trying to get.
We're not leaving.
Yeah, but we can't.
Is that, I know, you guys use your own discernment and say, you know what? It looks like we're not going to be able to get the baby today. Let's just try another time or let her go ahead and do it.
We can't.
Why?
Because we're here. We're responsible now. We know that the child isn't here.
DCF's right here.
DCF is right here. So let's do it. Let's do it that way. They're coming up. I don't have a problem with you letting DCF in. If that's how you want to play the game, because I don't really feel.
I'm not playing the game.
I didn't mean play the game. I didn't mean play the game like that.
All I'm doing is questioning you guys. All I'm doing is using my own questioning discernment to figure out why this is so important to come get this child.
I've already.
At an emergency, like the child is in danger.
I've already.
No, but it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
Sometimes your job has to side with.
Let's get DCF. Let's try that. I told him.
So this is when they pulled the social workers in, right? There's a total of 3 social workers that are there. I counted about 3 or 4 officers total. This officer in particular has the body cam, right? So you could see from the body cam, there's a couple of officers. They, before they went into the property or into the door, there was a truck that was parked somewhere in the premise, and they asked the guy that it was somebody that was from the house going into the truck, basically asking if they knew that there was a baby in there, and they acknowledged. And so the acknowledgement that there's a child in there was enough for them to go in there and basically, you know, act on the order that the judge signed.
Let's get DCF. DCF up here. I don't do anything criminal, sir. I'm just having a conversation. It's not the judge signed an order, so I don't know. I can't.
He puts us on mute for quite some time here. You can get to see the property a little bit. I see the SUV patrol car, and then also the officer patrol car there. There's 3 child protective workers on that area that you can see. Can't see it from here, but you'll see each one of them. Okay. One of those sounds like they had been working with Meghan Walsh for quite some time, maybe on her prior case or the other case where those 3 kids. It's my understanding that the 3 kids are in the custody of, still in the custody of the state, but that physically they reside with John Walsh and Revy Walsh, and that they've taken care of those kids. So this baby right here, this 5-day-old baby, is with Meghan Walsh as this is happening. The unfortunate thing here is that this officer completely puts the body cam on mute for so long sometimes that I feel like we miss vital information about what's going on and what's happening. It's unfortunate because I feel like, how do you demonstrate transparency in a situation like this? If people are questioning what's going on behind the scenes or what happened, we can see things visually, but we don't know what conversation looks like. We don't know who was called. It sounds like the judge might have been called just to give him a status update of what was going on with this order and where this baby was at. But at the same time, it just, no, not good. Now, the other thing I want to point out is that I really wish they would have brought one of these, CPS workers, DFS workers with the officers immediately, because they're experts in de-escalating parents to a certain degree. They're experts at trying to help a parent weigh in about what's going on, even have a choice about where a baby gets placed after birth. So I just feel like, shout out to that officer over there that was trying his best, but they really could have pulled one of these workers over there to help out in that situation and help de-escalate. Yeah. See if we can forward and get to the sound part. Yeah, he stays muted for quite some time, which is unfortunate. Here we go. Every time I see his hand, I feel like he's going to unmute himself so we can hear what's going on. I would imagine it'd be very hard to serve any kind of order here. Do you see all these cars? We don't know if there's any shooters in the area or the premises. They could be hiding just about anywhere. This property's pretty big too. I mean, look at we'll be able to see the back area here fairly quickly when he does a turn, and there's other people in the back as well. Leave some comments and let me know what you guys' thoughts are as we're reviewing this video again. The baby was just 5 days old. It's Meghan Walsh's child, and if that is John Walsh's daughter. Here we go. We're unmuted now. We'll probably hear a little bit about the commotion and what's going on. So it looks like we got a couple officers. I see a younger, maybe a figure over there playing with the dog. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're still in the property though. Let's see what's up here. What are we told?
So, Tiffany, the person that Meghan's on the phone with.
And we're back on mute. This is what I'm talking about. I don't like the fact that we've been muted so much. This is not okay. It definitely gives a feeling that there's no transparency. I don't know, guys. What do you guys just think in the comments? Let me know. And I think the reason why we're muted is because he's on the phone often. You know, my understanding, he might be calling the judge or another sergeant or another lieutenant or something else, maybe giving an update status to what's going on. Seems like a lot of excitement. I would say a good 4 officers, right? Yeah, he's on the phone. Do you see the patrol car over there? And then you saw the SUV. You see the DFS worker. There's another car, an SUV police car over there on the phone as well. Looks like they're trying to figure out what to do here as well. So I think it was maybe about 4 officers total from what I'm counting visually. What do you guys think in the comments? Make sure you guys leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. And I think that what they're doing is just making sure that the premises is safe, that everybody's safe. I mean, look at all the bushes and the trees and everything. And the way they're set up. Anybody can pull a firearm or a weapon and...
I spoke to Judge Meadows, my dawn. I spoke to Judge Meadows. Carte blanche, 100%. His order says to go do this.
Okay.
Take him custody.
I'm almost there.
Okay. We don't have to wait. We don't have to do. I mean, it's all.
She's on the phone with DCF right now.
The DCF was telling me that she's not cooperating.
I'm working on it.
Well,
I know.
Okay.
So he puts everybody on mute for a good, 7 to 10 minutes for him to talk to the judge that signed the order. And it sounds like they want to hurry up and wrap this up, okay? The interesting part of this is that officer with the body cam, he's got some history based on what Meghan Walsh says, and we'll see that with the Walsh family. And it sets her off. And it seems like this officer tends to set a lot of people off. He's not, as you can see, he's all about making sure that he does what he has to do and then bounce out, right? Whereas the other officer is trying to de-escalate the situation, and trying to be fair, if that makes sense.
We're just waiting on if they can make negotiation. I confirm with the judge. The judge says we have every right to knock this door and go get her. We're trying to do it peacefully as possible and not cause that problem, but we are going to get this child one way or another. So don't rest assured that's going to happen. And just waiting on, we're trying to let cooler heads prevail before we make any forced entry.
I did not. So here, I will talk with you. But here's the bottom line. The order says that the baby has to go with UCF today. I wasn't there.
Hello. Yeah, I did too. So we're almost there. We got her at the window now. It's getting a little closer to negotiable. If it doesn't take a turn for the better and continues direction, we will go in. Can you hear me? Yeah, I broke up. No, I said we got at least Meghan now is at the window. We're still trying to do peacefully, so we're good. But if this doesn't continue to develop, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hey, take care of Scully. He's calling you right now.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
If it's a fraud report, listen to me. If it's a fraud report, you can get on the line. I didn't even know you were John Walsh. I had no idea. I'm not here to debate that. I have an order.
Is he cleaning the camera for us? Is that what it looks like? So it sounds like he had a phone call. He said, we're almost there.
Good.
We're getting there.
Yep, good.
Megan's at the window. Start scoping out the area and the premise. We're back on mute. So this is pretty interesting. We get to see what they're working with when they're having to approach this home. All the cars, you got the cars parked right in the grass area, the front yard, I guess you would call that. Not much of a driveway, it's more like dirt, gravel, some gravel over there. I saw rocks and stuff. And again, we're using this under fair use, providing commentary. He's still making a lot of phone calls from what it seems like. Right? So that you guys know, the lady that was in the window, she's the owner of this property, okay? There's a man in there who is believed not to be the father of the 5-day-old baby. You have the worker right there, the CPS worker negotiating, she looks like she's on the phone, actually.
I don't know anything about any of that. I don't know anything about that.
Still trying to convince them, guys.
Take care of your child, and they will work with you. Yes, sir. I don't want that. Yes, but I would take it through the court system, which is what you're already doing. If you haven't shown us what you explained to me. Yeah, but I don't know that. I don't know any of the facts in the case. I don't. I am listening to you. I am listening to you. Listen. I understand you're upset. I understand. I know you are. I can see that. We will be. Okay. And we will take a statement from you, and that will be in our reports. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I don't. No, I can't right now. I'm here for this specific incident.
But that applies to it, sir.
Call line, push one. Just say no. Let's get it out.
Okay. So they don't want us to do it.
Yeah, they want us to continue this, but if it doesn't get to this point, I think it's going to be a full call. Hello? Yeah, we were at the same time, like one after another. Your phone is forwarding to Natasha.
And we're back on mute. He's getting some phone calls, right? Probably from the judge or other parties that are involved. So initially I counted 4 officers. I'm seeing another officer in the other side of the yard too. So there might be like 5 total from what it looks like. Just kind of scoping the premises and everything. Does anybody feel like they're very impatient, or is it just me?
Lonnie's en route.
Now we got somebody else en route. Yeah. So 5 officers, would you guys say? You guys notice there's like some young people over there kind of messing around. He'll get close to that scene and you guys will see what they say. It's kind of interesting, their take of the situation. Let's keep watching as we're muted.
What's that?
Best time to lose my heart.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is part of it. Sure, camera system and all that, like that's overdoing it. Just give me an update. I'll stand here.
Pretty big property, wouldn't you guys say? Can you guys see that they have some cameras there? I don't know if you guys noticed that. I see one camera right there. I see 2 of them actually.
Hey, are there? Y'all know if there's any? They have guns and stuff like that. Ever seen?
Meghan doesn't.
Do you know if that?
Mom, who's the homeowner, she does, but she's not gonna sue police.
I understand. They're just being.
She's like never ever seen her like take it out.
She doesn't even know how to
Why
use it.
do you think she's so like loyal to Meghan?
She's
been manipulated. She believes a lot of conspiracy theories that Meghan's posted on the internet. She's thoroughly convinced
thinks
of.
like she's being like a good person. Like she thinks she's helping. Like
You guys see through it.
oh yeah, she's completely insane. She literally thinks
She's never done anything
she's
like this where she invited like
insane.
some random person from the internet to stay in the house.
But she's like intrigued by conspiracy theories and stuff, so this kind of plays right into it.
Yeah.
So what kind of gun? What kind of gun does she have?
She has like old shotguns that my dad used to
They're in
have.
a safe or they're in a closet or?
They're like hidden in her room somewhere.
And who's the gentleman? Is your father?
Jim.
Who's the guy that's in there? Is that
Who's the
Meghan's
guy?
boyfriend? Yeah,
Oh,
the guy.
that would be a biker dude who was friends
Oh,
with
that
Meghan.
fucking
oh
idiot.
great.
Big,
So
got
she,
great goatee or something?
Yeah.
that he has no business being here. That is just some
That's a random
random
fucking-
person.
How does he get here? What's he drive?
Honestly, I have no idea. She
One time
knows-
we got
do you know
dropped
his
off
name?
here. One time we got dropped off here at like 3 a.m. We don't know
Okay,
where.
so that guy is not related to the house.
No.
You don't know anything about him.
he is
So it sounds like these young people are her kids. At least one of them is. But maybe all 3 of them. They know that the guy is not. He's just the guy that's speaking in the window, and we'll see that footage a little bit more because in the second part, he's actually the one filming the footage with Meghan Walsh and all that, and giving us conspiracy theories a little bit. Not conspiracy theories, I don't want to call them that, but just his theories of the matter of what's going on. What do you guys think about these young people that are just like, they believe all kinds of conspiracy theories? I mean, they said it, so maybe it's okay for me to call it that. And, shout out to them.
Okay, so he's here as a guest. Your mom is out the window, and then she has some shotgun under the bed. And there's nobody else here. Them 3. Meghan, the baby, the
There's
guy.
3 cats and
Yeah.
a dog.
Okay, and the dog in the garage.
Yeah.
and
Thank
they're
you.
out there all the time.
Okay, thank you so much.
I want to know if they're going to go to the hospital. They need the first thing.
We'll work on that. DCF probably has them.
Before we call her out, I don't know if you want to confirm with the judge.
And we're back to mute. As if that's not annoying. And this is what I was talking about. So we're providing this is under fair use because we're providing commentary to this body cam footage. I definitely don't like that we are, it leaves for speculation when you mute on a body cam. Why can't we hear everything that's going on? And then have you guys bleak everything afterwards? I don't know. It's just weird. It's either he's muting or this was muted before it was provided to everyone. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's definitely not okay. I might do some editing over. So he's rushing over to his little SUV. Look what he pulls out of the sheriff SUV. Pay attention to this. Wouldn't that be what they used to bust down the door? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Okay. So there's a statue covers the rest of the what you want. So you tell him whenever you want to wrap that up. There's a male with a goatee, kind of a bald head, probably your height. There's the girl in the pink shirt, and there's Meghan, and then the baby. That's all that's supposed to be in the house.
All right, the teenagers.
Teenager out back.
You're out back.
Yeah, we got them clear. Hey Sam, you got that? Keep them clear.
PCS, you come up here, please. Just got the baby there. They are. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mike, please.
They got the door open, which is exactly what they wanted. Now they don't have to use that door opener thing.
Okay. So can we
I do not
please
feel okay
turn the
with
baby
it.
over?
All right, he's leaving.
He's running to go put it back, which probably be a good idea because I'm sure you don't want to be showing that off, right? From this view, it's a pretty big property, wouldn't you guys say? I mean, look at how many cars they have in the area, and then you have the young kids, teenagers in the back playing with the ATV as well. Pretty big property, I would say. And just so you guys know, we're going to be editing through some of this stuff.
She's still trying to explain. He just has stuff to go here.
You can see the statues, so it's all three of them really, in my opinion, have been free with custody. I mean, they did medicine, they was court order, made aware of the court order, and they aided for that. I'm reading the statute. So they could really go to jail.
I feel bad for the homeowner.
She's brainwashed. Kids just said she's like absolutely brainwashed.
Yeah, but if you watch the YouTube videos, she's very convincing on those YouTube videos inside the
Oh yeah,
courthouse.
that's what she mentioned. I was the first one that served the first word on her for something like that. Escape.
Yeah, I watched the last YouTube video, and mind you, didn't tell them the facts of anything. And 3-judge Sweet out there, even though he helped her tremendously in court. So.
Did you guys hear what was said by the CPS worker? She's very convincing on those YouTube videos. So they likely understand and know her history for quite some time, whatever the YouTube videos that they're referencing. And they, meaning they're referencing Meghan. She's very convincing on those YouTube videos. That's what that worker said, word for word. And so we're back on mute. It's probably, in my mind, I'm thinking, dang, if you guys have CPS involved, then make sure you watch your YouTube videos and what you put in there, because they're probably evaluating those as well, if it's pertaining to your kids. So just a heads up, okay? Back unmuted again.
Just move on to it. No, I got thrown. Well, I guess the court kind of.
You can feel the frustration, guys. What do you guys think? Is anybody from Florida that knows these parts fairly well? Does this area look very familiar? If I have any people from Florida here, shout out to you in the chat. Make sure you let us know if you know this area. I'm just curious to know.
It's about it. Whoever without lawful authority, knowing or recklessly takes or entices to aids, abets, or hires, or otherwise procures another to take, entice any minor or incompetent person from custody of the minor, incompetent person is regarded or a public agency having a lawful charge of the minor or any other lawful custodian commits an offense of interfering with custody comes to felony or criminal here.
You can hear the conversation.
No.
Yes, and a baby needs to stay with its mother. This is the next one. Are you gonna fight for us? I mean, you haven't done anything yet, but I've never received a phone call to advise me.
Now, remember, Meghan knows this officer with the body cam. They don't have the best relationship. Meghan alleges that this officer and John Walsh are in cahoots with each other for whatever reason on something, right? That they've that they are working together to take away her kids. That is what Meghan has alleged between this officer to John Walsh, with John Walsh.
Right about that.
So they were inside the house, and we'll be able to see that footage in a little bit as well. I have the footage from inside the house, and we'll give commentary to it so you guys can see how things kind of went down. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. I don't know about you guys. You could feel the irritation, right? Like you could feel that we're really irritated with what's been going on. Sitting there for a couple hours trying to negotiate. I'm sure it was a very irritating thing for them to do. But that's just part of how it is, I would think, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey, there's one social worker walking in. Or, CPS worker.
Just so you know, I talked to Meadows and the sheriff. It's a felony theft on all three of them for potential custody. All three of them are drug dealers.
The officer with that green shirt that just walked in, and I'll show you guys the body cam, not the body cam, the footage from the inside. He was not a very empathetic, not at all. He was very much like, get in there and go in there and do what you got to do. I did not appreciate him at all. I don't even know why they needed so many officers unless the concern was so huge for safety, weapons, for all of them. I completely get it. I really would have recommended there to have been a CPS worker there at all times because they are trained in diffusing de-escalated situations like this, especially when there's issues of trust between agency and families. I just feel like it was not. Yes, they had the order, but it wasn't the best tactic to have all these officers give ultimatums right off the back. That's not a good way to negotiate, in my opinion. And we're back to mute, probably on another call again. Can you guys see the phone? What do you guys think? This is just, yeah. This situation was a little bit crazy, I bet. I would have loved to have, at least have watched it in real time. I probably would have grabbed a camera and tried to film everything and everybody and get some opinions, because that's just how curious I am and how nosy I would have gotten, Just saying. I don't know. What do you guys think? For those of you that are wondering, this is a pre-recorded video on purpose, because I might go through and edit some of the stuff, especially the dead air. We were muted for so long we couldn't hear anything, so it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I kind of like using this time to interact with you guys in this while you're in the chat, right? So I'll be doing that. He's unmuted us. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what the action's going to look like now. You guys imagine the trauma that must be happening, whether you agree with Meghan Walsh or not. I definitely, this is something that you wouldn't want any mother to go through. 5 days after giving birth, that she's having to give up her child to the custody of the CPS system, any of it at all. It's very much not a happy thing, right, to have happened. Now, allegedly, this is what happened after all of this kind of went down. The woman, and I had said this before, the lady that was there and the man that was filming too, and we're going to see that footage later on, they were arrested because they basically were hindering throughout the time. That's what they found out. So they were arrested for basically getting in the way of this child being turned over to the custody of the state. Crazy, right? When there is a judge order, I would not recommend anybody trying to get in between any of that. So yeah, be careful. Make sure you guys engage in the chat. Let us know your thoughts and everything. What do you guys think about the situation? Why do you think, this is a question that I asked, and I asked it earlier, why do you think this hasn't hit the major media outlets? Why? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'm curious to know your thoughts on that.
All of them are going to all of them take it in.
So let's see. They're still trying to figure it out. Looks like they're still negotiating and whatnot.
Let's let the baby get out of here first, okay? What are you saying?
The worker has the baby.
No. You did the right thing. You did better than me.
I know, that's why I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I didn't like it. It's just a guess of hers. The mom is like.
Let me stop it right there. So they got the baby out. It was they have the baby with them. They're walking out, right? All three of the CPS workers. And the officer says, let's get the baby out first, meaning they probably wanted to get the baby out of the premises, out of the property. Why? Because then they can think about, well, what do we do here in this situation, given that criminally, you had there was a man inside, and then the woman, the owner of the house, in there trying to intervene with the court order, which is a crime. Okay. So very likely they're going to get in trouble over that, which they did. They were arrested, by the way. But anyways, let's keep going with the video.
I thought he left.
In the scene.
I thought he was gone. Why are you here? Why are you doing this all the time? Like, why?
And here is, see, this is the part that I was like, whoa. Meghan says, I thought you left. Why are you here? The officer, the guy with the body cam is the officer she has issue with. And in my opinion, if you're trying to negotiate and you're trying to keep bargains and stuff, it would have been very important for that officer to have been gone. Why was he there? Was he even necessary? Clearly, he was a trigger to Meghan and everyone around. Not a good thing. Not, I mean, lack of transparency and way to break trust with the community, especially with somebody like Meghan, who, her father is prominent in the community and she's speaking against on a lot of things. I mean, it fits her narrative at the same time, and it does leave for eyebrows to be raised about how the police handled this situation, and also what is it that we don't know. Not a good look at all for the police to have done this at all.
Seriously.
I don't know anything about you. I have nothing negative to say about you. I don't know you. I don't know anything about
You know my father, and you know everything
Everybody knows
about
your father.
this, and you're aiding and abetting him. And you know that.
Okay.
You know that.
You know nothing about me.
Mike,
Yeah, you
Mike.
do.
Mike,
You lied and said you lied.
The lieutenant says, Mike, like tells him to leave. He should have left. And then he's over here petting the dog that does not belong to him or his property. Yeah. How ballsy is that of him to have done that? Not okay.
You live here? You gonna have a DVD? Like, you want the DVD do it? They can review our video.
So we're muted, but I could tell you this right now, and the video is going to end very quickly here soon. I could tell you what's going to happen. They're deciding whether there should be an arrest, any probable cause, because they hindered in that court order. Okay, so they're back and forth, going back. The guy in the green shirt, not a very nice guy. The guy with the body cam clearly was a trigger in the situation. I just wonder if they had different officers. Even the guy that was negotiating, kudos to him, because I think he tried for the most part. But knew that Mike, okay, the guy with the body cam, the officer with the body cam, was a trigger to this situation. It could have gone left real quick because of the way Officer Mike approached it, okay? So showing you guys that, let's see. Yeah, it's going to end here in a couple of seconds. We're muted. He has us muted throughout the whole time. And that's, I believe, that. Let me make sure you guys go check out that channel with the video. This was, again, done under fair use commentary. Fair use with commentary, as our banner says it as well, throughout the video. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Wait until I upload the inside the cam footage. This was very interesting, and it piqued my interest. And so then I ask you guys, because no answer is wrong in here, in my opinion, why hasn't this hit the major media outlets? Why hasn't John Walsh said anything? Why has this been so hush hush? I mean, you're talking about a man that has changed various policies as it pertains to protecting children in this country for decades now, right? He was the founder of NCMEC. He was the founder of various organizations that help protect children. Why has this not hit the media, the major outlets? Whether you believe Meghan or not, whether you feel like, oh, it's a conspiracy thing, which, whatever it is, even their approach to this situation was not a good one. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't helpful at all. Mom just gave birth to a child 5 days ago. And what is the reason? What is the safety concern that we have for this kiddo to stay there? Even the social workers, the CPS workers didn't state that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. For me, I take, I'm looking at it in different areas. I definitely, throughout the commentary, thought, let me look at it as a CPS worker thinking about, well, she hasn't been medically checked. And if she has, we haven't seen paperwork. Let's check her out. Also, has she been safe? Can she be safe with this child? Are there other mental health concerns that are, maybe she's not medicated, maybe she's not ready, whatever it may be? That's the other side of that. Or is it like there is some other side of this, other perspective, that there is some dealings between John Walsh and the community in Florida, in particular the Indian River sheriff's office, for example, and all that. Maybe there's something that we don't know that's going in the background. And truly, Meghan is an advocate and a victim, and also trying to uncover this. And now she's being targeted. I, for me, don't have quite an opinion yet. I would have to look at all sides before I make an opinion. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments, and I'll make sure I leave the information on those channels in the description box. All right. Thank you, guys.